What is a frame and why is it so important? Because I mentioned yesterday, setting the right frame or resetting the frame correctly will get you 90% of the way toward your desired result. A frame is the foundation from which everything else evolves. Just understand that. It's the same as a premise. The frame is the foundation from which everything else evolves. Let me share a story with you, my favorite frame story. I'm at a Dunkin' Donuts. I'm drinking coffee, probably having a donut. There's a little boy, 2, 3 years old, little toddler, probably closer to three, I guess. He's running around the restaurant, having fun. When his parents call him over to the table, he starts running over to the table and he takes a spill on the floor. He slips and falls. Did not hurt himself, you could tell, but you could also tell he was shocked. He was surprised. This was not within his realm of experience. He didn't know what to do with it. He didn't know what to make of this. So the first thing he did, I know you're all parents, first thing he did was what? He looked over at his mom and dad to get their interpretation of the event, right? He wanted to know, okay, this happened. What comes next? A good thing, bad thing, laugh, cry, what have you. Now, I'm watching this, and I truly believe that had the parents gotten upset, panicky, if they reacted, if they ran over to him and, oh no, my poor baby, are you okay? He'd have started to cry. But they handled it just so beautifully. They walked over to him quickly, of course, but very serenely, very calmly. They had such a wonderful presence about them. They got down on his level and they looked at him and they smiled and they even laughed and said, "Oh, what a fun trick. That looks like so much fun. Can you do that again?" And what did the little boy do? He began to laugh and smile and have fun with it, right? What the parents did is they set a productive frame from which he could operate. So rather than having to remedially handle his objections, right, his crying and his complaining and, oh no, it's okay, it doesn't hurt that much, you'll be all right. No, instead they set such a wonderful frame that he just had fun with it. It was great. And again, we can always do this with anybody we meet, but with our prospective customers and clients by the way we approach them, our body language, our smile, our welcoming attitude. Great. But what do we do when that other person comes to the table with a negative frame? Probably set unconsciously. They don't know they're doing it. But if we buy into their negative frame, let's say, for example, well, actually, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go back to what I was a little bit earlier on the page. So don't worry about us missing anything. Excuse me. Now I'm worried about it because I lost my place. Okay, I'm going to just back this up. So let's say that you have someone who comes to the table with a very negative attitude, sort of a defensive attitude, if you will. And, you don't know exactly why. You're not able to really discover and find out. But before you begin your sales conversation, they say something to you like, "Hey, I just want to let you know I've talked to, four of your competitors and they all were obnoxious and telling me why I needed to do this and why their company was number one and blah, 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 blah. I just want to let you know that, I'm not going to be bullied into buying anything. I'll make my own decision." Now, if you buy into that defensive antagonistic frame, what happens? You begin defensively. You try to justify yourself. Right. Instead, what if you just what if you responded by saying, "First, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Mr. Prospect, while I've been honored to, help a number of people with this product or service, what have you, please know that whether or not I'm the right solution for you or whether this product is the right solution for you, however you say it, we can't possibly know without exploring deeper and really discovering your needs, your wants, what you are looking to accomplish. So please feel very comfortable in knowing that this conversation is really for both of us to explore this or both of us to determine this. And if it turns out we're a good fit, fantastic. I'll be delighted to help you. But if not, that's also okay." So what you've done is you've reframed this from two adversaries to two people who just both want what's in his best interest, which is what he cares about. Okay, let's go back up that page when we were talking about the frame, and we talk about a smile. The smile is such a powerful way to set a frame. I am telling you, there's nothing like it. That's that attitude of gratitude. It's that, grateful attitude that Kim talks about. When you smile at someone, it's almost irresistible. Now, not everybody's going to smile back, but not everybody has to. Okay. Most people will. And it's the same when you're whether you're walking in a store somewhere, when you're greeting the cashier, when you're at the gate agent, the grumpy gate agent, and you walk up and you put a big smile on your face. It's imagine how you amazing how you can change things with a smile. And then I want you to read this below where it says positive expectation, and because this is powerful. Positive expectation, in other words, expecting someone to be helpful. Okay. Positive expectation works not because it changes them, but because it changes you. And that's what changes them. There's nothing woo woo about this. There's nothing out of right. It just, this is human nature. So, what happens, let's say you want to put an addition on your home, but you have to get some ridiculous license, not license, permit to do that. So, you go to City Hall and you hear that this person who's in charge of these permits is a real bear. They just are difficult and horrible. So you go in with a frame that you're just going to have a drag that this person's going to be miserable and nasty, and you're going to just fight for what you want, and you're just going to get it right. And so you go in there with an attitude, which he probably already had, but now he really has that attitude. And now it's two people doing a push, a power play. You may get what you want. You might, but you probably won't because they have the power. That's City Hall, unfortunately. Okay. And even if you do get what you want, you've made an enemy for the future. And you've also given yourself, a stomach ache. It's just not a good way to have to go through life. So what if instead, even though you know that this person has the reputation of being a bear, you're going to have positive expectation. You are going to assume this person is the nicest, most wonderful, kindest, helpful human being you've ever met. You're not going to change him by doing that. You're going to change yourself by doing that. So now you go in there loving this person. This is the nicest, greatest person. And you go in there with an attitude, with a smile, and you say hello, and you're gracious and you're kind, and right? And this person sees how much you like them. I got to tell you, human nature, very difficult to dislike someone who likes you. Okay. So what you've done, you've changed yourself. And by doing that, you change them. That's what changes them. That you changed yourself. You've set the frame as opposed to allowing a negative frame to be set.